What's going on, guys? This is Gameday with Martini back with another video today. Today we're going to be bringing you a tier list of the top clubs in the top 5 leagues. All right, and again, maybe I left out a couple teams. I kind of picked teams that most people would know. I mean, some of the bottom like La Liga teams and Serie A teams and Ligue 1 especially. It's just you're not a lot of people don't know all of them. So I kind of took the biggest names, and we're just going to kind of rank them that way. We are kind of ranking these against each other. So this is like obviously all these teams are, you know, probably not even lower than B in their own league, but we're comparing them all together. So let's start with Athletic Club. For now, I'm gonna go D here. I think they got some good players, but again, they don't really threaten in La Liga. So even compared to those teams, I'm gonna put them in D. I think a popular club though. AS Monaco. This one obviously exciting. Got Paul Pogba, Ansu Fati. You have to see, I believe, both. Correct me if I'm wrong on Fati, but I know we haven't seen Pogba, who is on their Champions League roster, by the way. So that is coming soon. This is going to be a fun team to watch. I mean, if you want to talk about just like fun, I mean, maybe not S, but A. I mean, you're going to want to watch Paul Pogba. Obviously, an exciting player. I think we should all be excited he's back. So I'm going to put them ahead of Athletic Club. To be honest with you, they do usually finish at the top three, top four in League One. So I'm pretty comfortable with them in C. And then we got Leons. They're right there with AS Monaco in my opinion. I think I'd put them behind them. They're not as exciting. I don't know if I would say they're even better right now and as of late. So I wouldn't put them with these guys, but I'd put them behind them. Marseille. Marseille's been pretty good for a while. Their fan base is nuts. Like if you don't know much about Marseille, look into them. They're a pretty passionate club. I think they are better than AS Monaco, and maybe this is a team that we do see up in the B. Like I said, kind of like our first tier list video. We'll go back at the end and maybe tweak a couple things and kind of get your guys' opinion. So we're probably going to disagree on a couple of these, but right now I'm going to put Marseille ahead of those guys. Real Betis. I'd definitely say better than them. Yeah, I put him right there in the C. Anthony coming back definitely made him better. Maybe we put him here. I think La Liga is just a stronger league than Ligue 1, and they're of the better teams in La Liga. And obviously, with Anthony, they played really well. They're gonna have a full year of him now. Well, pretty much. They missed the first couple games, but going forward, they're gonna have him. I would expect that they're better than these three teams, especially these two for sure. Marseille, maybe flip a coin there. Crystal Palace. These guys have won some. These guys have won some trophies as of late. And for that, I'm gonna put them ahead. I don't think B. I don't want to use the Prem tax and put them up in B, but I would say better than all these clubs. I don't think any of these teams would beat them. So maybe at the end they are up in B, probably towards the back of B, but they're definitely up there. Losing Eze hurt them. So maybe that is right at C. With losing Eze, they did keep Mark Gay. If they didn't, we might see them kind of closer to here. But for right now, I'd put them at comfortably at, they'll finish top 8 in Prem. And I mean, obviously, you're going to see there's more Premier League teams in this list than, all the others, and because it's the best in the world. So the best players seem to go there. I'm going to put Crystal Palace right there for now. Dortmund, not A, B. A lot of their best players, Jude, Holland, just as more recent guys, they do leave, right? And we know that. I don't want to say they're a feeder team to bigger clubs, but I mean, these guys were in the Champions League final, what, 2 years ago against Madrid. Like they're pretty good, and they seem to be coached really well. I think Job going there kind of makes them exciting too. I think that they definitely are a team to pay attention to, and one of the better teams out in Bundesliga. I would definitely say they're better than all these clubs. So definitely be City. Oh, this one's tough. Well, definitely better than them. Last year was bad for City. I mean, I don't think I need to tell anybody that. But this year they've had one really good game, obviously against the Wolves, and then two just not good games. I'm gonna put them B, head of B right now. We'll see. Maybe they will sneak up an A because I mean they are still managed by Pep. They still have all the big names, Holland and Reindeers, and the list goes on and on for them. So I'm gonna put them there. I don't want to tank them too bad because like in reality, like I think Crystal Palace could beat them right now. I do think that, but again, if they played three times, I'm giving City the nod. And I would say the same with Dortmund. Chelsea, I mean, right now they're better than City, that's for sure. Spent a lot of money, so maybe they should be up there, right? Obviously, just won the FIFA Club World Cup, the first one. They won it. Kind of makes me want to put them in A. Yeah, I'm going to put them in A. They're just playing really well right now. I think in the Premier League already, they have the big names, they got the big players. So I'm going to put them in A for now. Again, maybe we'll shuffle it. I would be surprised if they're at the front of A, but I think that Club World Cup championship definitely puts them over these guys, and I would say even a tier. Bayern, they're A. Bundesliga runs through these guys. Harry Kane, Luis Diaz. I mean, they have all the good players, especially in Germany, man. They're going to win Bundesliga again. I know what Leverkusen won that recently, but I mean, before the year starts, if you had to bet on each like of the top five leagues who's going to win, I feel like Bayern would be the one where not many people decipher from. Maybe that in PSG in Ligue 1. But no, I mean, enough said about them. I mean, they even going through coaching changes and good coaches, bad coaches. It kind of just doesn't matter. They're going to win. They're going to be decently competitive in the Champions League every year. So no, I'm pretty confident with them in the A. Barcelona, I'm going to give them the S tier. Obviously, not the biggest Barcelona fan, but they are exciting. I mean, Yamal is one of those guys where it's like you turn him on just because he's out there, and the rest of their team's also really good too. Maybe not the hottest start right now. Maybe they haven't looked in the form we kind of expect from them. But if I was doing like a Champions League tier list just with Champions League teams, and maybe we'll do that. Honestly, it's a good idea. They're gonna be in my top two or three. So I definitely got to put them in S. I don't think they'll be at the front of S, but I'm going to put them up there. I think they're that good, and I think Flick's got them going in the right direction, obviously, and Yamal doesn't, I don't feel like he's going to get worse by any means. So definitely S for them. Atletico, Madrid. So they spend a lot of money and they're not producing. I think they have the highest paid coach in the world as well, and they're still not producing. But again, a top they're always kind of that third team in La Liga. Um, I'm gonna maybe be a little bold here. I'm gonna put them behind Real Betis. I think Real Betis with Anthony is a better team, and I know, especially being a United fan, we give Anthony a really hard time. 100 mil, and he didn't really produce for us, so you can't blame the fans for being upset with Anthony, but he is exciting, and he did click in Betis. So, and I think a full year of it, I just see them finishing above him. Again, maybe we'll get exposed at the end of the year when we look at this and go, wow, what were you thinking? But as of right now, again, I do have, I believe, two games of La Liga to, look back on, and I'm pretty confident with this right now. Arsenal, I think A. Put them ahead of Bayern right now. They don't win trophies. I mean, that's like the thing with Arsenal. We all know that. But like the team is really good. If Gyökeres clicks and actually starts performing better, you probably maybe even sneak this team into S. But they're definitely, you can't give them that right now. Chelsea won the Club World Cup, so I'm kind of going to put them behind them. But I would say they're an A. I mean, they're a really, really good team, and they're going to finish in the top four in the Prem, no matter how you put it, unless there's a bunch of injuries, which you never hope for. But yeah, I'm going to put Arsenal in A. I think that's fair. I think putting them in B is just too harsh. I think putting them in S is probably giving them more credit than they deserve, because at the end of the day, they're all chasing trophies and they don't do it. But they're a really, really quality team. So we're going to go A. Milan. Oh, boy. Yeah, they're not great. They really aren't. Would I put them ahead of these clubs? Definitely put ahead of Lyons. Yeah, AC Milan's not the powerhouse they used to be. That's for sure. Serie A seems to be dropping quality every single year. dropping viewership. I mean, there are people that are saying that it's not going to be the top five. They're not going to be in the top five leagues, and they're going to fall out of that with, I would assume, probably Saudi taking that spot. I don't agree with it, but I've heard that a lot, and maybe that is the case. I mean, it's really just kind of like a term anyway. But yeah, I think Milan here is fair. I mean, I love Rafael Leao as much as anybody else, but he's not good enough to carry this team, I don't think, and he's not doing it. I mean, Pulisic is, I mean, going back to last year, is the most exciting player. They had reindeers. They don't have him anymore. I don't think Christopher Nkunku is going to like push them over the top. They can't figure out striker to save their life. I think defensively they're only okay. Yeah, of all the Serie A teams, they're probably the only team that's going to be behind them. Just quick glance, yeah, is Roma. I mean, they're definitely going to finish in the top 3 or 4. I mean, worst case 5. But again, compared to these guys, I mean, they're getting worked by all these teams, and I think they lose to every team here. I think they'd beat Athletic Club though. Tottenham Hotspurs, B, and ahead of them as well, ahead of Dortmund. I like Thomas Frank. I like what he's doing. I like all their signings, and we haven't even seen Xavi Simons play with them yet, and or Kolo Moani as well. Now that I think about it, I almost forgot him. Like, that's huge for Thomas Frank, and he's going to be able to take advantage of those guys' skill set. And I honestly almost want to put him. I think, yeah, you know what? Let's do it. Probably going to piss some people off, but I think Tottenham beat City 2-0 this year. So, I mean, I don't know. I think I think they beat them last year a couple times. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. But no, I like what they're doing. I like their transfers that they have coming in. I like where they're at as a club. They beat City, so I'm gonna put them ahead. I don't know if I'd put them quite A tier. Honestly, if we're doing predictions, I'm thinking we'll be putting them in the A tier. I screenshot the list. We're gonna go back to this and the list we did for transfers. So I won't be surprised if we do end up putting this in the A tier. But for right now, I think front of B, head of Man City, and Dortmund's pretty fair. Roma, D, I'd even say behind Athletic Club. Roma kind of had those couple years where it was like exciting and like, whoa, they're back, getting back Paulo Dybala, El Shaarawy kind of like resurgence. I liked all that, but they're not with these guys. I mean, I don't really want to talk about them that much, but they're not. I don't think. So yeah, D, and as of right now, of all the clubs that are in the tiers, I definitely say the worst one. Madrid, this is tough. Obviously, La Liga, Jude Bellingham's my favorite player, so I do support Real, and I was more of a CR7 than Ronaldo or a Messi fan. So, I don't want to be biased, but like I do think they're clearly better than these guys. Won a Champions League recently. I think Mbappe's going to the Ballon d'Or, and we're going to release a video predicting each and every division and all the big awards. That video is going to be coming soon, probably early to mid-week this week. And Mbappe is going to be my pick for Ballon d'Or. I put him behind Barcelona for sure, but I think they're a good tier ahead of these guys. I'm pretty confident just looking at it. We're gonna have 4 teams in the S tier, and I think it's fair that Madrid's there. Maybe worst case ahead of A, but for right now, I'll put them there. RB Leipzig, they just sell everybody. Better than Roma, probably better than Athletic Club. Yeah, I like I said, that all their exciting players end up in the Prem or Bayern or other big clubs across the world. I mean, that's just kind of their MO. That's what they do. I can't remember a time they really had that high crazy of a finish in the Bundesliga. So I definitely think D, especially compared to these teams, they're probably like a solid B team, I think, in Bundesliga. But definitely a well-known club. Obviously, the Red Bull, noticeable. PSG, I'm gonna put them S for sure. Unfortunately, Dembele and Douye both are going to be out for Douye 4 to 5 weeks. Dembele 4 to 6. I don't want to put that in there, but they'll be fine. I think as right now, you got to put them ahead of Barcelona. Obviously, Champions League, champions last year, and What I always thought was crazy is this club would spend so much money with the Neymar and Mbappe and Messi and all these huge names, and they just couldn't get past like the semifinal. And once they lost Mbappe for nothing, as a free agent, which I still can't believe that even happened, was allowed to happen. I could go on, we could make a whole video about that situation. But they got rid of all those guys, and you have Dembele, who was kind of failed at Barcelona. You have Kavars, I call him, from Napoli, and it just worked. I mean, it was like there was no big egos where it was like I need the ball, and I think that's kind of what you've had with Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe. And I also think you're kind of seeing a little bit at Real Madrid that Mbappe doesn't like to just play that sole nine position. He just doesn't like to do it. Even when he is there, he's still going to funnel to the left side, and it's almost like you have two left wingers. Where, like when Rodrigo was playing 2 weeks ago, you basically had two left wingers, and then Vinny subbed in, and he kind of slid more towards the middle. But it's just not what he does, and it just didn't work. I think they probably been better off with just figuring it out with Neymar and Mbappe, but obviously things didn't go to plan. Neymar's whole career didn't really go to plan. One of the best, in my opinion, in terms of talent for sure. One of the biggest what ifs. But yeah, interesting club with PSG. Right now, I'm going to put them as the best team, and we'll go from there. Newcastle with Isak, B, maybe even A. Without him, still think better than all these clubs. They're still going to be B. Obviously, they got Wisa and Vladimir. Again, I'm probably never going to pronounce his name wrong. It drives me nuts. I've listened to a video of how to say his name 100 times. I can't get it. But they have strikers now. You're not going to see Anthony Gordon, knock on wood. You're not going to see Anthony Gordon play striker anymore. I think that's going to help. I think Isak leaving, that like ghost is kind of like off their back. I think that's a really good thing for Newcastle to just kind of move on. But you did see him kind of use that money, and I didn't like the way they did it. Obviously, they got those players before they sold Isak, but they kind of, I would assume behind closed doors, knew Isak was going to Liverpool. But they spent a lot of that money right away on strikers that I just don't think are that good. I think like William Delap would have been perfect for them. Obviously, went to Chelsea to like back up. João Pedro, weird situation, and also hurt now. But I think I really was a fan of Newcastle too. I'm going to put them ahead of them. I'm not going to put them ahead of City or Tottenham right now. Not right now. When we come back, maybe they'll be more. I don't know. I think they're probably going to stay around here. Maybe even drop. So, yeah, unfortunately, Newcastle, they have one of the best midfields in the Prem. There's something to be said about that for sure. They got youth on the wings now. Kind of youth at the striker position now. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, like I said, pretty solid B team. Definitely better than all these guys. Napoli, A. Do I want to put it at Bayern right now? No. I like Napoli. I think getting Kevin De Bruyne, especially in Serie A, is going to help them a lot. I think he brings a lot to the table for them, and his quality is just so far above all the other Serie A midfielders. Where it's like he's gonna feed the strikers and the wingers, and McTominay's obviously awesome. Wish it worked out at United, didn't, but he's awesome. Player of the season last year for Serie A. And then obviously they got Rasmus Højlund. I hope he starts. I hope it works out for him. We'll see how that all goes. But yeah, they're A. Right now I'd probably put them behind these three. But honestly, I wouldn't be surprised. I think any of these teams could beat each other. This is kind of where I am. I think Bayern, just the vibes of Bayern and the history of Bayern just tells me I can't do that. I don't think I could, just the competition in Serie A, I don't think I could put ahead of Arsenal or Chelsea right now. Maybe we'll come back and we'll look at this and I could put them higher. I want to, but I don't think it's the right move. United. Now, let's be honest. They're not playing in Europe. The reason they're on this list is they're the biggest club in the world. You can kind of debate a wall if you want on that. They're worth talking about. Obviously, the number one team I support, but they're C tier, and it sucks to even say it. Like, I don't know if they beat any of these teams. Like, I want to be able to put United in A and be like, we spent 200 and it ended up being like 260 million in the transfer window, and I want to say it will work. And I think statistically, the system that Ruben's putting out there is working. It's just not ball's got to go in the net. I mean, it's kind of like Darwin, and I bring up Darwin all the time because it's the perfect example. But it's like Darwin can get open for the shots. He can get the shots off, but he just never puts the ball in the net. So it's like, what does that really do? I mean, it's exciting. Watching Manchester United this year versus last year is, I, if you're a United fan, let me know down below. But like, I would say it's a lot more fun. I mean, obviously, aside from the game we don't talk about in the Caribou Cup, it's been exciting. Obviously Brian Buemo, Cunha, Sesko when he comes on. I mean, these guys have been exciting to watch. I think the CBs are playing great. Lenny Yoro looks awesome. Mateus DeLitt looks awesome. Luke Shaw looks like he's healthy, and that's pretty much all you need from him. I think we all know how good Luke Shaw is, but he's just never healthy. He's right now, knock on wood, got a clear bill of health, and I think it's been exciting. Now, Patrick Dorgu as that left wing back, I think he's really good at going ahead. I don't know if he's the best defender. Right back with Ahmad. I don't know if that's really his position. He's obviously more of like that 10 right winger, but that's kind of filled now. And it's kind of a mess. And I really am pulling for Ruben Amorim. I was really excited about the signing. I mean, I think it was only like a couple weeks after, him and Sporting beat Manchester City at Manchester City. So it's like the dude's system works. We just got to buy in. And I think getting a new keeper will help us. Maybe we have, 6 points instead of 4. So we'll see. Obviously, loss, tie, draw, or loss, draw, win for United right now. Do I think they beat Lions? Yeah, I do. I'm going to put them ahead of them. I'm going to put them ahead of Milan. They just don't have anything going for them. I'll put them ahead of Monaco. I'll put them ahead of them. Yeah, I think that. Come on. I think that's fair. Maybe a little bias is going in that, but I think they could beat these clubs. I really do. I know I said at the beginning I don't think so. No, I do think they have the quality to do it. So we'll move on from United. I know I don't want to talk about them too long. Lyles. Sorry, my bad. That's where Lenny Yoro and Carlos Balba came from. They're, I think they're right with these guys. I think very similar, maybe a little more feederish system or feeder team esque. They're just okay. They're not great. I don't think they beat anybody up here. I would take all these teams ahead of them. Man, I don't want to be too mean to AC Milan. So we'll put them there. Like I said, nothing crazy. We'll see what players come from them and get sold next summer or even this January transfer. That's kind of what seems to be what they're known for. Liverpool. To be honest with you, without Isak, I don't know if I'd put them at 1, but they did get him, and I think it put them ahead of these guys. Obviously, Championship League recently, they haven't performed the greatest. But I think part of it is if you're a Prem team, you always focus on the Prem. You never are going to like bench players in the Premier League because just to win Champions League games. Because if you bench in the Premier League, everybody's so good where it's like there's really not like a guaranteed win. You could say there is, yeah, sure, you're the number 1, you're playing the number 20, but it doesn't mean you're going to win. The quality, like I said, the bottom tier quality is so clear of every other of the top 5 leagues that you can't do it. And I think having Isak, Ekatike, Mo Salah, Chiesa, Cody Gakpo, Soboslai, Wirtz, like you have a lot of really good players where you can rotate them and focus on the Premier League and the Champions League at the same time. Right now, they're my pick to win the Champions League. They weren't. I actually picked, as much as it kills me, I picked Barcelona before the transfer window was done. But with Isak coming, I'm now going Liverpool and kind of just went back and forth with PSG versus Barcelona. And I'm still going to give PSG the nod on that. Leverkusen, D. Absolutely D. Just fired their coach a couple weeks into the season. That was kind of felt like maybe where United was going to be. But the difference between these two teams, the quality of players. Hikapi's gone now. I always call Kafufkis is there now at right back for them, but they're not good. I'd put it. I'm ahead of Roma, maybe Athletic Club. I would put him below RB Leipzig for sure. But yeah, definitely a D. Firing your coach that early in the season is not a good look. Kind of tells me you are definitely down here compared to these teams. Juve, I believe they're the only undefeated team in Serie A still, I think. Um, and I like Juve. Obviously, Openda, Jonathan David, Yildiz. Yeah, we're all expecting that big boom. We kind of got it last year, but I think we're even expecting a little bit more. I'd definitely be. I think right now I'm gonna put them ahead of Dortmund, and I just the defense is. I don't know. I don't know if the defense for Juve is good enough to put them ahead of Newcastle. Right now I'm gonna put them there. Solid B team. I don't think I'm disrespecting Juve by any means. If I put them there. Grew up watching them. My family's from there. That's their team. So I know Juve pretty well. So yeah, I don't think they're with these guys. They're definitely better than United. I think definitely better than Crystal Palace. Be a good game. But I want to put Juve here, especially what we've seen so far this year. Inter, step back for these guys. But definitely better than them. Better than them. Marseille. I put them there. They did play in the Champions League final, but the team's not the same. They lost their manager. They're not the same. I would put them. I'd put them right there, almost the front of C tier. But yeah, let's look over this, see if there's any changes I would make. Maybe Athletic over Marseille. Yeah, I think that's it. Honestly, I think it's a pretty solid list. You guys let me know below what you guys think. If there is another team I missed that maybe should have been in here, like I said, I was trying to just take the most common teams from all the top leagues and kind of just rank them and kind of show you guys what I thought with a little bit of predictions in there too. Like I said, we're going to have a full on prediction video coming soon. So like I said, guys, like, comment, subscribe. This is another episode, Game Day tier list. We're not going to always do tier lists, but right now we're just trying to fill in content before EFC 26 comes out. So like I said, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll catch you guys soon. Thanks. Bye.